Donald Trump keeps getting asked about this, and the more he shuts it down, the more people are going to ask questions and demand answers. He posted on Truth Social today calling it a scam and a hoax. He said, "My past supporters have bought into this BS hook, line and sinker." But Donald Trump has spoken again about this because he keeps getting asked by reporters. He's trying to shut it down, but he did say that he believes all credible files should be released.
But I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring. And I don't understand why it keeps going. I think really only pretty bad people, including fake news, want to keep something like that going. But credible information, let them give it. Anything that's credible, I would say let them have it.
It seems as though he's losing control of this story because he's comparing the Epstein list to other deep state hoaxes. But as you pointed out, we got plenty of evidence and information to get to the bottom of this and get to the bottom of the truth for that to be revealed. People on both sides, as you say, want answers. It's what the American people had been promised, and this administration has really failed to deliver. It's interesting, Attorney General hit back at reporters when she was asked about the tensions between herself and Dan Bongino. This is her response.
Is there disruption at the leadership of DOJ and the FBI with your relationship with Dan Bongino that is affecting the operations of the DOJ?
No, I'm not going to talk about personnel matters. No, I was with Director Patel all morning, and we are committed to keeping America safe, making America safe, working with our incredible partners at DEA, FBI, ATF, U.S. Marshals to do everything we can to make America safe, and that's what we're focused on. And today we're focused on protecting our kids. And I would ask all of you, when you leave, go look at that wall outside, right outside this room, of all the fentanyl deaths, all the faces of fentanyl that you have done an amazing job putting up.
She didn't say Dan Bongino's name there. She just referred to Kash Patel. What are you hearing of what's going on behind closed doors? Is everyone still fighting?
Yeah, Gabriella. I mean, at the end of the day, what appears to be one of the bigger issues when it comes to the interconnections of DC is that, different than any other administration we've seen before, we're seeing a lot of loyalists be in these positions in the government. And it's no secret that a lot of these individuals are also close friends even with the individuals that have, say, large X accounts that also are, talking heads or journalists or commentators on television. So another piece of this puzzle is that it appears that the administration is still operating and confiding in the ways that these individuals would have before they got into office. And they're quickly learning that anything that they really say could very easily be put on display online, whether for good nature or for bad nature. So I don't think, it doesn't appear to me that this Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi, hard line between the two of them right now, this contention is plain made up. There's a lot of credible individuals that are very close to both, separately and together, actually, that have reported on the same thing. So I think it's just a learning lesson for them all, truly, that what you say, media, in a sense, media matters, right? What you do say to your pals, whether it's the people on TV or the people that have large accounts on social media, your words are going to be heard, whether you were intending for them to be or not. And so for something like this, especially when, again, this is an issue that both the base and individuals that maybe necessarily didn't even jump on the MAGA train from the get want answers to. Absolutely. This is where kind of culture and politics collide. So there's no hiding in this sense. And she's got a lot of work to do to kind of, make right or wrong. Bongino at the same time, too. I think that's where the frustrations come from, because his show highlighted a lot prior to him joining into the government role he's in, was a huge highlight about Epstein. And so, again, Trump himself, too, really having to come face to face with something that's one of the very few times where the administration kind of makes a hiccup that just simply can't be ignored. They do a lot of course correcting, and they did it a lot in the first term, but this is just one of those things. You just can't let it go. This transcends beyond politics. and more of a bigger question of, does the government kind of think we're stupid and we're just going to be okay with a memo being dropped on the 4th of July weekend? I mean, that even in of itself, whether you want to say that there was nothing in this, and we can go through semantics, talk about Epstein's history, talk about what the deal was with that, whether it's justifiable or not, that video being doctored or having the minutes being pulled or
let's
whatever
talk about that
is.
video. Wired is reporting that the Jeffrey Epstein prison video that was recently released by the DOJ had almost 3 minutes cut out, not 1 minute that was originally reported. So this was the only functioning camera near Jeffrey Epstein's prison cell the night before he died. And the video was released last week as part of the Trump administration's commitment to fully investigate Epstein's death. But this has just raised more questions about how the footage was edited.
Yeah, absolutely. Just looking at the footage that they put out and, even comparing it to, say, the image, the one sole image that was put out of the Epstein cell back when he allegedly committed suicide, the footage doesn't appear to reflect that photo that came out years prior. So one is factual, one is not, or are neither true, or, what's going on there. I think that just adds an extra element of more questions that just need to be answered. And there is this little bit of fear, right? Of if the government gives you more answers, and does there become an uproar? Can the public handle the truth? But at some point, we are almost so desensitized from the truth. We spent how many years in our country accepting what our higher individuals, our government officials have told us. And that was the whole point in the birth of the MAGA movement. Yes, Trump wears the MAGA hat quite literally and, physically and figuratively. But there is an America after Trump. And so I think we almost got comfortable in not asking questions and just having more trust in these people of power. So to answer that question and maybe, water it down a little bit more, is that it's a good thing. Maybe they tried to attempt to give us some footage, but it doesn't appear real. We have a liability and a right to ask that question. We didn't forfeit it just because we voted for President Trump and trust him and his administration do a good job. They also need to trust us to keep them honest. It's a two-way street here. And that's a really important element that we just can't let up on, no matter what information is then being given onto us. And again, the justification from Pam Bondi of why those minutes would be not there. It didn't seem to add up. And again, she should be able to answer that question once more, Gabriella. So, you focusing on it, I think is the right answer here. We all are.